So now that you've had some practice with trigger control, it's fairly simple, but like I said, mastering it is a 1,000-mile journey. But let's get along that journey further and faster. When you prep that trigger and you take that slack out, imagine, if you will, that back here in your hand, like a little bit to the right of your thumb, if you're a right-handed shooter, there's a point there. And even if you touch it like this with your pinky a little bit, imagine that this is the goal. This is where you want the trigger finger, where you're touching the trigger on your pad. This is where you want it to go. So imagine up almost like you have a string tied to your trigger finger where it's engaging the actual trigger, and you're pulling it. And if you notice, I'm actually pulling a little bit off to the right as a right-handed shooter. There's a slight tendency to go to the left, so I'm almost thinking that this trigger finger has to come back and in a little bit. We need some mobility in this first knuckle, all right? It's not a bad idea to grab your knuckle every now and then and massage it. Let it know that you have that mobility. Because remember, these three joints have to cooperate together to give that straight line motion of the trigger. And not only is it straight back, but it comes back and actually up a little bit in an arc. As you're conducting some fine trigger control work, here's some tips for you. First of all, go strong hand only. It is good to have a solid grip and be locked in, because that will help control that muzzle even while you're breaking the shot before recoil. However, a strong grip can mask a trigger mechanic deficiency. So if you do some drills to strong hand only on a target, any trigger mechanic deficiencies, like if you're slapping the trigger and such, are going to be exposed all the more. So now with your strong hand out, go ahead and press back, and almost like imagine you have a string and you're pulling that trigger back. So like you're pulling it back from here. It's more of a mental game, but it gets you thinking about what muscles need to be recruited on that trigger finger to get that motion. Next phase on this is aim on your target and hit some shots rapid fire. Rapid fire. As fast as you can go. As fast as you can go. I have a good C-clamp grip. What you may notice when you do a rapid shot drill is your inner fingertips might move a little bit right here. And your thumb might move a little bit. But because we have a good grip, they're out of play basically. They're not disturbing the gun, and this pressure is not going to give us trigger freeze. That's where these fingers don't move and this trigger finger tends to not move. So with this proper grip, go ahead and rip off those shots. Get those nice dots and not dashes. And you're on the path to mastering trigger control.